So just take a moment to settle, check where your mind is at this evening, and is it different to how it was this morning or even this time yesterday evening? And just be aware that your mind is changing all the time. No matter how urgent or how relevant or how distressed you might feel in the moment, you can rest assured that it will change. So just check the position of your feet. Have them about hips width apart. If you've got them on the ground, or maybe they're in a regular cross-legged position. And if they are and you have tight hips, you can put a couple of cushions underneath each knee and align your shoulders with your hips as best you can, and then think about lengthening your spine. And it goes from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And put some space in between your vertebrae. And then bring your awareness to your breath, just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then bring your awareness to the crown of your head and just release any tension there. Notice the sensations. And then release the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, back of the tongue, temples. Relax the jaw, back of the head, back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the chest and the belly and all of your limbs, your hands, your feet, fingers and toes. And just notice if you have sound in your environment. And for a moment, just allow those sounds to be there. Just allow your consciousness to register the sound. And then let the sounds be and bring your mind back and allow those sounds to move into the periphery of your consciousness. And then watch the thoughts that are arising in the mind, just to notice what's there this evening. And just allow the thoughts to arise and to abide. There might be a lot going on in the mind. And just sort of notice it. It's like we're super clever at creating stories, pictures, even though half the time it's not entirely accurate. And then try not to criticize those thoughts or, continue on the story, and you can maybe try and put some space in between them. And then think of all the people of our life, our loved ones, the ones we don't like so much or don't trust really, and then our strangers, and just imagine that they all could possibly change place at any time. I think they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. And then we start by thinking there's a purification meditation, so there is no negativity that can't be purified. And I just love to hear that so much. Because we're creating a negativity with our mind, and we can change that by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we can't bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds, for they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So then we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor rather than a higher power, who has methods that we can use to purify ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head and blissful, radiant white light body. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. He has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have a little section on compassion. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who have harmed you and just have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification and think I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you can do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and it disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramamimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom. So I feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And that includes yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a room, you flick on a switch, the room's dark, and that light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So we try and imagine the same here. You know, like we probably think, oh gosh, this is impossible, it's never going to happen. But we just kind of constantly imagine as if. And eventually one day it will. So just imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart coming and hitting your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. And Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And just imagine that Vajrasattva very happily sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified, and there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your omniscience have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And this is a really crucial one. This is where we make this decision to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind without making some kind of a determination, some kind of a decision. We will keep doing the same old things over and over again because we have these habits, these kind of habit energy, just to keep doing stuff. It doesn't necessarily serve us or anyone else. So then we make a determination, I want to change. And so this aspiration, this kind of wish, becomes like a beacon that guides our body and speech and mind in new directions. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, the Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So we also meditate a little bit on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then we make a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, to be able to continue to teach, and then for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of our own precious teachers. Okay, everyone. Lots of love. Good night. Sweet dreams. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night.